Hey, good evening all. Fazal, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Read articles related to their careers. Hello, this is Venkatesh Panyam, the co-founder of Edgroom. Many students and parents have a question. When there are so many career websites, what is the need for another website? Read articles related to their careers. What way Edgroom is different from other websites? Edgroom is a social platform. Hello, this is Venkatesh Panyam, the co-founder of Edgroom. Many students and answered by experts in their fields. They can read articles related to their careers. related to their courses, and lot of different articles can be found in these Edblogs. And another important tool is the Edbytes. Exams, and all the notifications will be posted here on a regular basis. This website is different from most of the career websites. That is, this provides complete information, personalized information to the students based on their interests and based on their chosen career options. So this, whatever the information that they get is completely personalized. This you'll find nowhere. So, and one important point is all these services are completely free. Dear students, please register in this website and you just fill all the details in the profile, and then you can download the app from Google Play Store to get all the personal information related to a career. And lot of discussion will happen through webinars. So in those webinars, students can talk to the speakers, they can ask the questions, and they can clarify all the doubts. So definitely Edgroom is a boon to the students and parents, where you can get answers to all your queries, and definitely this website will help you to take better career decisions. Please register and make use of all the services at Edgroom. Thank you. Hi, in this I am going to explain another important tool for the students and parents, that is Edblog. In Edblog, we see a curated content related to different topics. For example, this article, the Q&A with the expert in chemical engineering, written by a professor from Andhra University. So, in this blog, he explained everything about the chemical engineering. Why one should take chemical engineering? What is the advantages of chemical engineering? What are the job prospects? Which is the best call? Like this, Professor Chittubabu Garu explained everything about the chemical engineering. So like this, we have different articles. Let's see one more. And how to score best marks in chemistry, which was written by the senior most chemistry faculty, Anuradha Tenneti ma'am. In this, he answered the various doubts students generally have, like what are the important topics, what are the subjects you should study, other topics, the subtopic that one should study for getting better marks in chemistry. So we can have another senior faculty member, Dr. G.V. Sridhar. He wrote an article about the electronic and communication engineering. Then we have some articles exclusively for the details about the IITs, what are the available seats in IITs. So students can just click the link here. They can browse all the information here. The main advantage of this section is Here you get all the comprehensive information about the 4 years BTech degrees at IITs. So we can just go through all the details of it. If a student want to know about a particular exam like BITSAT, so a blog was written. Here all the information related to BITSAT was given. The students can understand just by looking at the article. If they want to know exactly more information, they can just click this BITSAT admission website. They can go there. And even we have provided a comment section, so user can use their comment. So this is a very useful product that we developed at Edgroom to help the students and parents to take better career decisions. Thank you. Hi, in this, I'm going to explain about an important tool related to exams, that is EdAlerts. In this tool, we provided the brief information about the various exam notifications. If a student wishes to see the details of that particular exam, simply if you click on it, you'll see the brief details of that exam. For example, if you look at the JEE Advanced exam, so there we have written what is the exam date and what are the timings for each paper. And if they want to see more details about that exam, they simply click the link given below and they'll be directed to the official website. So like this, they can see the details about that every exam and all the notifications will be posted here. So students can see the information related to that exam. And if they want more details about that exam, they simply click that link, web link, and it will be directed to the original website. There they can browse everything they want. So this tool is very useful to the students to know in nutshell about each exam notification. Thank you. Hello, in this I'm going to explain one of the most unique feature of this website, that is EdBytes. Let's see what is inside EdBytes. In EdBytes, you find the content from different sources, which is very useful to the students. In this, you can see a content related to different courses, different exams, different careers, like this. For example, a student who is preparing for JEE Mains exam, if he simply enters JEE Mains, you see the results. All the articles related to JEE Mains you can see there. So you can see a lot of information about the JEE Mains exam, how to prepare, what are the important dates, what are the books related. So you can browse a lot of articles related to just JEE Mains exam. Let's see how you get the results on Google. Suppose in Google, if I simply type JEE Mains, look at the results here. Now you look at the results in EdBytes. Here, all the information is related to the students' interests. For example, if I just type NEET exam here, look at the content. So here, how to prepare for the NEET exam. Everything is related to only the NEET exam. All the content is NEET and options beyond MBBS. These articles will definitely help the students. The same way, if I type same NEET in Google, what happens you see? So here, if you look at the content that you are seeing in Google, is not as relevant as you are getting in EdBytes there. So here you require further search. But here in Edbytes, the content is more suitable. Suppose a student is preparing for law, he just type the word law, you'll get all the information related to law. So this is the main advantage for the students. So those who wish to see information related to their career, they can browse all that from this Edbytes. So it is a very, very useful tool for the students who want to take their career to higher level. Thank you.
Worth all the hype? What did I choose after my 10th? They say PCM has more scope than PCB. Shall I go for it?
I like biology a lot. What if I couldn't make it in NEET after 12th? Could I able to face the pressure?
I want to be an IITian or NITian in future and I need good coaching for it. Where do I take my admission in?
Now that my MCET rank is decent enough, so which colleges should I choose for admissions in Vizag?
Do I really want to do engineering or am I just going with the flow? Well, I've always wanted to prepare for civil exams. So what should I do now?
Is CSE really worth all the hype? What about ECE engineering? Should I do much research about it or stick to CSE? What if I don't get a job after taking up other branches? Questions like these have been haunting us for the past 2 years now. We never had a clarity as to what to choose or where to go. There always has been a doubt lurking in the corner of our minds.
But after using a platform like Edgroom, we have been able to gain some clarity regarding our decisions and choices. Experienced people in these fields have helped us to be firm with our decisions.
What is Edgroom? Edgroom is an online platform that clarifies all your doubts regarding your career choices and gives you valuable advice. It has an answer for every question of yours. Edgroom is not only confined to science streams but also other streams like arts, commerce, etc. And since it's an online platform, you can have an access to it anytime.
This platform is run by experienced people like Venkatesa, who has been a lecturer for 2 years in intermediate. He has given the right guidance in intermediate.
Venkatesh sir's way of approaching the students was unique and fair, and he has always been kind enough in clarifying our doubts.
People like Venkatesh sir are many on Edgroom who are willing to help the students. They'll help you to dream big and achieve big. So without any delay, take up your chance and make the right choice.
Many of us fail to find the right source to boost up our careers. Edgroom is a perfect platform you're looking for.
Whatever the stream you want to pursue, it could be engineering, medical, arts, you will be guided to excel in your respective streams.
Edgroom is like online counseling for the students. This illuminates the students' mind in choosing the correct stream according to their skills. This makes them determined and clear about their future.
Many students can be that comfortable with the environment of examination hall. Even when I have given examinations, I couldn't handle the pressure. But in Edgroom, you will be guided on how to take papers with ease.
The problem with Indian education system is that we concentrate more on marks rather than whether we understand the concepts. To compete with other students all over India, we need to be more serious about knowing the concepts.
Edgroom is a social platform that helps you to reach your goals faster with proper learning techniques. It enables you to implement the theoretical information into practical knowledge. The educators at Edgroom just keep clarifying the doubts of the students irrespective of what the time it is.
At Edgroom, Venkatesh sir is my favorite teacher. It is indeed a wonderful experience having Venkatesh sir as a teacher. He has that magic of attracting students with his lectures and mesmerizes us with his life stories.
I studied from Venkatesh sir. He is an awesome teacher of physics. The quizzes he used to conduct and the unique way of teaching made physics an interesting subject throughout my intermediate.
I like the way he treats everyone equally, regardless of how you perform, and encourages the special talent in every individual.
He made us understand what life is. His constant efforts to teach something new and something different has never ended.
I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to learn with his guidance. So now it's our turn to grab it.
The most alarming problem today in front of students who want to choose the career in their passionate interest is that they are going all way wrong. Me, aspiring to be a doctor from my childhood, have heard many controversies that PCB is a tough course for an individual to secure a seat. And at some time, I have decided to take MPC so that it makes me easy to secure a seat. But I felt regret about it. At Edgroom, I researched about NEET and I've got much useful information. After the Edgroom webinar of career options after 10th, I learned that nothing here is too tough or too easy. Edgroom made me feel confident of what I'm willing to do. Not only me, but there are many of my friends who are confused to know their careers. I advised them to make research about it in Edgroom and the result was good. So finally, I suggest every student to join Edgroom and attend webinars to know more about career options. Thank you.
Good evening, all the students, parents, and my dear teachers. Welcome to EdWebinar by Edgroom. In this webinar, we are going to see the career opportunities, scholarships available for the students who wish to study abroad. The speaker is an experienced consultant who runs his own consultancy in Vizag from few decades. So definitely, this webinar will help the students who wish to pursue the higher education in abroad. So before we go to that webinar, let's see few details about Edgroom. So first of all, what is Edgroom and what we do? Edgroom is a social platform which provides personalized information to the students, parents to make better decisions. What we provide? Edgroom provides career guidance to 8th to 12th grade students. And who can join Edgroom? Edgroom is meant for students, parents, and teachers. Why students need Edgroom? Because they have a lot of question marks after their 10th class or after their intermediate or after their graduation. What is the next best option for them to pursue? So at Edgroom, we provide a lot of guidance in the form of articles, in the form of webinars or discussions. So a lot of content is developed for the students to help them to take better career decisions. And why parents need to join Edgroom? Because parents also have to understand what are the possible career options available for their kids, and they also can guide them if they know that there's so many career options available beyond 10th class or intermediate. And why teachers need to join Edgroom? Because a lot of students depends on their teachers for the right decisions. Definitely, teachers should update the knowledge to give guidance to the students. So we encourage even teachers also to join Edgroom. We have developed some tools for the students to make better decisions. These are ed blogs where we have curated content from the experts. Then we have ed forum where students can post their questions and parents also can post. Not only that, even they can answer the questions. Then we have ed alerts where we students receive brief notifications about all the exams they intend to write. Then we have these Ed Bytes, now we call it as Ed News, where a lot of content is provided for the students to take better career decisions. Now, what are the Ed stats as of now? Right now, we started Edgroom from the month of September, and we started these webinars from the first week of October. And so far, we have 960 plus registered users, and we got more than 30,000 visitors in last 5 months. On average, we are getting 1,600 plus weekly active users. So we thank all the students and parents who have believed us and who are showing a lot of interest in us. And the upcoming webinars, we have a very good webinar on 20th of February, which is very useful for the students who are preparing for NEET exam. And this is Target NEET, how to score best marks in physics. We already conducted one webinar on zoology. Then before that, we had one webinar over NEET exam details. Now, Mr. M.B.K. Vijay Kumar is a very senior faculty working in Sri Chaitanya Vizag from last 26 years. And is one of the topmost faculty in Vizag. And not only that, he is one of the most experienced faculty in Vizag teaching me. So definitely this webinar is going to help all the students who are preparing for NEET exam, and they can definitely after the exam, they know the art of scoring better marks. And this is what we believe in. Don't follow the crowd, choose a career where you will find happiness and no regret. This is the main purpose of Edgroom. So we always encourage the students and parents, please take a career which suitable to your interest and your ambitions. Never ever follow the crowd. That's what I always say. Don't follow the follower. And to design your career, join Edgroom now for free, or you can download what are the methods of joining Edgroom. You can download the app from Play Store, or you can directly go to the website and type the word edgroom.com, and you can just download. Yeah, without much time, when the speaker has joined. Satish, welcome to the webinar. Satish, can you hear me?
Yes, Venki.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So it is better if you can switch on the camera.
Sure. Just a second.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear students and parents, Dr. Satish Raj is my friend. He's my college buddy. I'm proud to say that he's the today's presenter, and very eagerly waiting to know more about him. And he has a vast experience in the field of force education, and definitely his efforts will definitely help them. So I just wanted to introduce the today's speaker. Dr. Satish Raj Kuchipudi is the co-founder of Skylark Course Education and overseas education consulting firm based in Vizag, serving as its director and principal consultant. An American educated graduate with a dual master's degree in chemical engineering and computer science, followed by an MBA. He holds a PhD in chemical engineering with a specialization in hydrogen-powered fuel cells. So, having counseled and mentored more than 9,000 students over the past 20 years, he continues to advise potential aspirants interested in higher education abroad. And he is the PIRE-trained NAFSA affiliated British Council certified counselor. Wow! So, Satish, you have a lot of qualifications to guide the students who wish to see their future in abroad. So I welcome you, man, for this today's evening, and this is the time for you to share your screen. I'll make you the host. Now you can share the screen.
Thank you so much, Venki.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You can share the screen now.
Yeah, I'll share the screen right away. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, but we cannot see you, man.
I believe my video. Let me just.
I think you have first your video off.
Okay, let me just restart my video. I think Venki might be my settings have to change.
There's a problem with the camera.
I think the camera cannot access. All right. Okay. Let's get started. Can I start, Venki, or should we wait for some more time?
Yeah, you can start. You can start.
Okay. There we go. Thank you so much, Venki. Good evening, everyone. I believe. One second. See, this is a small topic, in fact, that I've picked up. I believe my good friend Venki has asked me, to present a small presentation for aspirants who are from +2 and degree background. So I picked up this topic on study abroad opportunities for students in the post-pandemic. In fact, I believe most of us, in fact, the past 2 years, we've been going through this pandemic condition where we are mostly in the digital world, enjoying our, in fact, sort of the digital footprint or digital presence has actually increased, and we are all teachers become digital teachers, and then learners have become digital learners. So a lot of, in fact, a lot of digital learning is actually happening now. So in this presentation, I probably will give you an essence of a few of the study abroad opportunities that actually have changed. In fact, traditionally we used to study conventional topics. In fact, but post the pandemic, I think a lot of focus has actually come on different type of topics. In fact, different fields and different topics, because we have seen the need for professionals in a variety of areas post the pandemic. In fact, the pandemic is still going on, but I believe we have seen a lot of changes happening in the education scenario as well as in India as well as overseas, and new fields are emerging and new topics are coming up. So this requires us to upskill and develop our knowledge base. And so I just wanted to present some of the opportunities that we have currently. In fact, it's not an exhaustive list, just some of the opportunities that we have in the post-pandemic world. I mean, as far as options stuff for study abroad is concerned. So let me just give you a brief on why study abroad. I believe this is a big question. I know study abroad is a study abroad is a big challenge and different experience for many. So why should you study abroad, or why rather in fact study abroad? This is a unique and challenging experience for many people to actually stay away miles from home, particularly because unique because you're on your own, you're your own boss, you take your decisions and you're liable for your decisions and you're liable for yourself. You are your own boss. So it's challenging because the consequences that come up with staying away from home, miles away from home, in fact also come with the experience. In fact, the experience of living on your own and studying, maintaining yourself, managing yourself, everything is also a challenging aspect of the study abroad experience. It's unique and it's also challenging. And second thing is, it also gives us an opportunity to improve our language and communication skills, particularly because we are in a different world altogether. And this is a wonderful opportunity for us to to improve our language and communication, since we are going to be communicating in the language of the country in which we are studying. So it also gives us a chance to improve a language and also gives us a chance to interact with people from different parts of the world, because most of the developed countries have students coming from different parts of the world, and it gives us a chance to interact and learn how to interact with people coming from different languages, cultures, and different ethical backgrounds. So that's one opportunity that you always have by studying abroad. And there are a variety of course options. In fact, in studying abroad, you explore different courses, not the conventional than the traditional. But in a developed country, if you are studying in a developed country, you also have a plethora of courses to actually study, pick options and study. And then the flexible curriculums that are there in most of the developed countries, allow you to actually specialize or sort of explore. It's like having a buffet and with a variety of items. You have plenty of options to study, plenty of options to pick up, and it's a chance for you to know to satisfy your inner curiosity. So this is one more awesome experience that you have in a study abroad. And then there are a variety of course options. Uh, Apart from that, you also have a wonderful chance to improve your network and your connections, which means you start gaining connections, start building a vast network of people. In fact, everywhere you go, you meet new people, could be from different backgrounds, different countries. So you always have a chance to make new friends, you develop new connections, could be professional or personal, and you get a chance to experience a new culture and develop a new perspective. Because see, staying in the comfort of your home, you never get a chance to experience a new culture. Although at the most, we probably could be experiencing a new food or a variety of food because of the varieties of cuisines that, thanks to the the restaurants that have opened up, we get a chance to taste new food, but then we never get a chance to experience a new culture. So this is a wonderful opportunity for us to experience a new culture and develop a different perspective. So you have to see things from a different point of view. So you can develop a different perspective to get it. And this is a wonderful opportunity for students to actually develop a new perspective and also experience a new culture. It's also a great opportunity to discover new career opportunities. This is a wonderful part of best part of study abroad is a chance for you to explore new career opportunities, because in a developed country, they offer you a range of career opportunities to actually build your career, to actually develop yourself. So that's a wonderful part of the study abroad experience. Now, let us start off by comparing our Indian system versus any foreign education system. Here we have on the left-hand side, you can see a number of comparison parameters. The Indian system in the middle and the foreign education system towards the right. So when you are looking at the teaching methodology, traditional, I'm talking about the traditional Indian education system. This is mostly teacher-driven. Teacher drives the classroom. Teachers drive the classroom, which means teachers teach and students learn. Now, the classroom learning interaction is, so the classroom is a very important part of interaction. So people and students and teachers interact in the classroom. Whereas in an abroad education system, you have mostly a student-driven atmosphere where students drive the learning. That is interactive approach, and a practical and application-oriented approach. So this is where, in fact, students come out, in fact, overcome their inhibitions and their fears, start talking and start conversing. This is an exchange of ideas, information, and knowledge. So this is the teaching methodology that we are looking at in New World. In fact, in India, we are also looking at a similar kind of aspects where we can, where we can experience a student-driven atmosphere. I believe the new generation of kids, in fact, your generation probably benefits most from this one, and probably people of our generation, me and Venkatesh sir, probably we were mostly in the teacher-driven classrooms, but still we got to learn the knowledge that was taught. Okay, and as far as student learning is concerned, in the Indian education system, we assimilate and absorb information, and we develop our knowledge base. We enhance our knowledge base. But in a foreign education system, we are encouraged to explore and participate, and that also enriches the student experience. The learning experience is enriched and enhanced, particularly because you're encouraged to explore, participate, and satisfy your inner curiosity. Now, as far as academics are concerned, here in our system of education, we have a predetermined syllabus that is determined by the central or state education boards. And as far as examinations are autonomous classes, autonomous colleges, we do have autonomy, but that is administrative autonomy where it's just restricted only to exams and award of grades. But then in a foreign education system, the institutions are autonomous, which means they decide their courses, they decide the syllabus, and the syllabus is constantly updated on par with changes in the industry. Whatever changes or whatever happenings are getting updated in the industry, the syllabus and the content is actually changed on par with that. Academic autonomy is unrestricted, which means institutions are allowed to grade their assignments, they are allowed to conduct their exams, allowed to decide their content, literally allowed to offer change the degrees, whatever degrees or content or coursework or syllabus that start. Everything is decided by the institution. As far as subjects or disciplines are concerned, in Indian system of education, we have fixed subjects and elective choices. Now, in electives, what I mean electives is we have a set of, in fact, a limited choice of courses that are called electives. Mostly in our system, electives are actually, allotted based upon the marks that are chosen. So the toppers in the class actually get their first choice. Probably the next set of people actually get probably the second choice or something like that. But interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary learning is still in its infancy in India. Although we do have dual degree programs and we do have interdisciplinary programs which are starting off. In fact, this is the culture is taking off in India. But if you are looking at a foreign education system, the subjects and elective choices are not fixed. Students get the freedom to select their own subjects. In fact, if you are looking at a bachelor's degree system, the first semester, the first year of any bachelor's degree abroad, students are allowed to start exploring different courses, different choices. So their major or their subject or whatever specialization or whatever is not finalized or fixed till they really start exploring the different possibilities. They are allowed to literally make up their own course content, in fact, and there are a wide variety of choices of courses, and they are allowed to, in fact, take those courses to decide which course suits them best. Interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary learning is actually allowed there. So if you are taking nanotechnology, this is an intersection of many fields. In fact, nanotechnology encompasses chemistry, and then we have engineering, many branches of engineering, and then we also have physics also in nanotechnology, and nanotechnology applications have found their way in every possible field. So what we are using right now, I believe, is mobile phones and then the smartphones and the microwaves, the televisions, whatever we are using, the laptops that we are actually watching this presentation on. These are all applications of nanotechnology. So that is an interdisciplinary or a multidisciplinary field that actually allows us to explore many fields combined together. And then research and learning, as far as research and learning is concerned, in Indian system of education, now we have research ongoing, but then as far as the industry, university collaboration is concerned, the research is actually limited. The research is actually limited to certain topics, in fact, and then some of the topics, some of the funding actually is quite limited in terms of nature. But and of course, resources and research funding also is slowly picking up. It's gradually picking up. So research at the Indian system of education is quite limited, and to postgraduate level. So at the undergraduate level, our Indian institutions do not have something called research, and there's no research spending at the undergraduate or graduate level. On the postgraduate level, we do have research spending and the research topics also. But and then in a education system abroad, in fact, in a foreign education system, you do have cutting edge research going on various innovative technologies and topics. And in foreign universities have wonderful research grants. In fact, they do have research funding exclusively set aside for them to. And then the freedom of spending that money and being accountable is also on the burden of the institution. The universities are actually funded either by the state or central governments or private agencies, numerous agencies, because the universities are the centers of research. So whatever progress or innovation is happening in the country, the universities are driving that research. So this is one good aspect of education abroad. Then it comes to the cost of education. Yes, in India, tuition fee is affordable, and then it's certainly high in some colleges and courses. But when it comes to foreign education system, the tuition fee is definitely on the higher side, especially when it comes to business courses. It's definitely high, so it requires a bit of budgeting as far as finances are concerned. Definitely, this is something that actually concerns many people. We will also discuss this part in this presentation. Then when it comes to scholarships, yeah, there are limited undergraduate scholarships in India, apart from the government-run welfare schemes, but then and postgraduate research scholarships are available. So for people who are doing MTech and through the examinations that we have, the GATE examination or any other examination, they do get a stipend, monthly stipend. Apart from that, not much of funding for research. If you are doing a research project, there are certain funds which are differently allocated or allotted for postgraduate research. So if you want to participate in a seminar or a conference, there are limited funds available. But then in a foreign education system, there are merit-based scholarships available at both UG undergraduate and postgraduate level. And you do have a good amount of research assistantships, fellowships, plenty of scholarships to encourage students to keep them going. As far as performance assessment parameters concerned, marks in our system of education, Indian system, marks in theory and labs are used for award of final grades. But in a foreign education system, you have a number of factors in fact counted. Your assignments, your projects, your research work, your field work, your examinations, the midterm exams, presentations, every tiny little thing is counted. All of these are cumulatively counted towards the final grade, passing grade that you actually get. So it is a continuous evaluation or a continuous assessment system that allows the student to consistently perform throughout the semester. So it's not like you do the first mid examination well and you don't do the second mid examination, mid semester examination well. So it's not like that. Everything is counted. So the student is literally on his toes, trying to perform or outperform throughout the semester. So that actually promotes or rather propels learning. And then as far as the admission criteria is concerned, merit-based admissions happen via entrance examinations in India. So you have entrance examinations like the MSET or the PG set or the K set, different statewide national entrance examinations like the NEET for the medical examination for the medical medicine seats. And these are the entrance examinations that are conducted to actually, in fact, grant admissions to our students in our system of education. In a foreign education system, you also do have aptitude tests. Then you also have language examinations, but you also have greatest focus on your academics. So here, your academics are actually, in fact, driving the admission system over there. And when it comes to the post-completion opportunities, what next after completion of your bachelor's, your master's, the on-campus placement in our Indian system depends a lot on the reputation of the institution and the kind of connections that the university or the college has with respect to companies. Off-campus placements or recruitment drives also are held by companies. So these are two opportunities for students to actually get placed. So on-campus placements and off-campus recruitment drives, these are two opportunities. Whereas in a foreign education system, students are generally given work permits. The post-completion work permits range from 1 to 3 years. Sometimes it's 4 years, depending on the country. There are plenty of opportunities in industry, teaching, or research. The reason being, the reason there are more opportunities available is because the university system is also the center of research. So a lot of research held within the university system actually prepares the student for the industry. The education system and the assessment parameters are so strict and tough that they mentally, physically prepare the student to handle a direct opportunity in the industry. If a student is given an opportunity in the industry, they don't require 6 months of training or 1 year of training in probation period to actually take on that opportunity, because students are thoroughly trained, and practical approach of learning, the hands-on approach of learning, that is part of the part of the learning system, actually encourages or rather propels them to take on the opportunity and start performing from day one. This is one of the biggest advantages in a foreign education system that we have. Let's move on to the next. So we have a classification of education pathways in this manner. We have physical sciences, then biological or life sciences, then social sciences, then arts and humanities. Then we also have interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary studies. So let's look at what these are. So in physical sciences, now most of us know physical sciences. Okay, the traditional fields of study in physical sciences, these are the ones on the left-hand side: mathematics, astronomy, chemistry, computer science, and engineering, IT, geology, metallurgy, oceanography, physics, statistics. These are some of them, not all. Physical sciences are the science of non-living things. In fact, these are not the living things. This is physical science. We actually, in fact, study matter and energy, and it actually helps develop our logical and reasoning and analytical abilities. So through physical science, this is one approach that we take. The innovative fields, the upcoming emerging fields that we have in physical sciences: astronomy, astrophysics, biostatistics, blockchain, that is an upcoming and emerging technology. Then we have climate science, earth systems science, cloud computing, big data analytics, environmental geosciences, financial analytics, that is very much required by those who are very keen on stock market, stock trading, and human computer interaction and artificial intelligence, that is propelling the world right now. A lot of talk is actually going on around these topics of human computer interaction and artificial intelligence. I believe there's a lot of buzz around artificial intelligence and artificial robots. I believe, and we already have seen artificial human beings, artificial intelligence being deployed into humanoids or human robots, which actually look very, very, similar to humans, and then they can do a lot of things, which they are programmed to do a lot of things. Uh, Probably, they could find their way in many applications where human involvement or interference is not required. Then we have mathematical economics. Then we have robotics. I believe a lot of you are familiar or rather fascinated with robotics. Then we have spatial computing, which is application of virtual reality and imagining things. Let's say, example, spatial computing is used to develop models where in a virtual environment, where such as robotic surgeries, virtualization. I believe some of you might have seen these, applications in movies where physically before doing certain things. For example, if your doctor wants to actually do some surgery, physically, in fact, physically, before performing the surgery, they uh, they try to imagine themselves or put themselves in an environment, simulated environment, where they can actually conduct the surgery and then see the outcome. That's virtual reality. Spatial computing helps develop such a technology. This is one more innovative field of study that someone can actually get into, and these are all available abroad, overseas, in developed countries. Let's look at the next field: biological sciences, or life sciences, known as life science, because this deals with the living world. And the traditional fields of study in biological science is something that is life: agriculture, biomedical science, dentistry, environmental science, forestry, hospital health services administration, medicine, nursing, pharmacy, physical therapy, veterinary science. These are the traditional fields that we have in biological sciences. There are some of them, not exhaustive, but some of them. Now there are more innovative fields like anthrozoology, which is a combination of anthropology and then zoology. Anthrozoology is how humans and animals interact or how they can coexist. Okay, bioinformatics is one hot topic that actually deals with application of informatics, computer principles or scientific principles to applications of biology. So that helps people who are working in genome research to actually, in fact, extract principles and then try to see genome sequencing. I believe this is picked up ever since coronavirus actually came into picture. This research and bioinformatics professionals are actually being deployed in many, many professions to understand how the coronavirus actually mutates and how it actually develops and how it can. Biostatistics, I believe this is an emerging field, an upcoming field where you actually have used statistical principles and biological science research. Then we have digital medicines. I believe I was talking about digital medicine with artificial intelligence and machine learning principles of artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is actually being deployed. Digital medicine is being deployed in I believe a lot of virtual doctors actually have come down during this pandemic, offering their medicine, offering their services. In fact, digital medicine, I believe we have seen so many. For example, Apollo has a hospital app. Apollo Hospitals has a Apollo 24/7 app where you are allowed to know doctors are allowed to interact with patients virtually without any physical interaction or without any contact, and then they start administering. So digital medicine is also one more field that is picking up and allowing people from all parts of the world to interact with specialists. So ecological environmental science, this is also one more field that is coming up. Then we have health informatics, which is like the data analytics of the healthcare industry. We have neurology and neuroscience, which helps people understand how which helps doctors in fact are actually dealing with the neuroscience specialists and how and to understand how neurology neuroscience can work in tandem. We have natural language processing, NLP. This is an emerging topic. This is also in fact the one that is driving machine learning. Pharmacogenomics, I believe this is one more field, like a multidisciplinary hybrid field that actually is driving along. This is a very interesting field that actually in fact students are now finding it very interesting to actually see how they can actually combine these two fields to come up with innovative medicines. Systems biology, we also have systems and therapeutic engineering, bioengineering. These are upcoming emerging fields in biological or life sciences. And then we have social sciences. Now, social science is something that is often ignored, especially in our Indian context, the South Indian context. But then you see the importance of social science, especially in the post-pandemic world. We have seen a lot of, in fact, people coming up, especially with respect to communications journalism. If you are looking at communications journalism, now we require a lot of people who are, in fact, familiar with the social media, how to actually, in fact, remove fake information from social media, and then pump in content that is actually verified and genuine. So a lot of work is actually going on around and around that area, because a lot of, in fact, fake news is actually spreading, and there are plenty of people working around the world and how to curb or rather restrict these things. Anthropology, business and commerce, communications, journalism, economics, education, geography, history, political science. These are the traditional fields. But then if you look at the innovative fields of study, archival library information science, this is one new field which actually is actually combining technology into organizing and managing digital libraries around the world. Then we have behavioral science, and we have counseling. A lot of people actually require it, and community psychology, because you can see psychology for an individual, but how about a community, a group of people? How about demography? Demography is study of population statistics, how population statistics are changing and around the world. Then we have decision sciences. So now this is an upcoming emerging topic, decision sciences, especially because this is combined mostly with business analytics, because a lot of people who are making business decisions actually and must also know on what context they have to make decisions. So decision sciences also goes around really well with analytics, and to help people in the topmost positions make decisions, because their decisions could actually make or break the company. So decision sciences is also an emerging area in social science. And then we have geography and urban studies to help improve our environment and our life, especially in urban environments. We also have innovation and entrepreneurship, and we have sustainable development. As the word sustainable says it all. Any development that we actually are planning or doing right now, it has to be sustainable. That means long-standing, long-withstanding. So any kind of development that we actually do, anyone who actually is planning, also has to be the long run. Then we have wildlife journalism. I believe a lot of enthusiastic photographers have emerged, including my own son. I believe is an enthusiastic photographer. So someone who's passionate about photography, at the same time also wants to become a wildlife journalist, and doing big pics for the National Geographic channel, something like National Geographic, can actually pursue a course in wildlife journalism where they can become a wildlife journalist, conservationist, or wildlife photographer, photojournalist. So there are plenty of, in fact, innovative fields of study which students can actually pursue in the emerging world. Now we have arts and humanities, the often ignored area of study, where we have traditional fields like archaeology, fine arts, fashion, history, hospitality, hotel management. Then we have study of languages, law, linguistics, music, performing arts, philosophy. These are slowly making way to innovative fields of study like cartography, map making. Because of this changing geopolitical scenario, map making is a constant subject that needs to be, because A lot of parameters actually are going around this area. We have creative writing. This is for people who actually can express themselves well in terms of creative writing, in terms of creativity. This is for people who actually have good skills and are capable of writing content, wonderful content for websites, for blog art, for blogs. Because a lot of people actually are learning a lot, learning or rather reading online, and then we have our smartphones now, especially with Corona, which has actually forced us to learn from our systems within the comfort of our rooms and before laptops, sitting before laptops and smartphones for the past 2 years. So creative writers are very much in demand who can write website contents, can write blog articles. A lot of content is being developed. So this is one wonderful profession, and there's a huge demand for people. We have event management as usual. This is an upcoming emerging subject when a person is capable of organizing, has good organizing skills. Event management is also a subject that they would like to pursue. Yeah, foreign languages where someone can specialize in study of a different language, because there's a wonderful advantage if you know a different language, know a different foreign language. That primarily jobs that require you to negotiate or work with cross-functional teams or teams from different country in MNC companies, someone who actually has those skills are highly preferred. Then we have gender studies or women studies. We have gerontology, study of old people, graphic design, museology. If you are passionate about, museums are old things. So this is one course that could be, probably meant for you. And then we have rural studies in development for someone who actually wants to develop the rural sector. This is one area that people can actually in fact also pursue. Then we have the interdisciplinary fields. Now we have seen a lot of in fact research happening through an intersection of the traditional research, traditional fields. In fact, genomics and proteomics is an intersection or amalgamation of different concepts of physics, chemistry, biology, math, and computer science. Then we have bioinformatics, as I said, which actually uses the principles of biology and those of computer science, mathematics, and statistics. We have biomedical engineering, which is an amalgamation or an intersection of physics, biology, electronics, and instrumentation. Then we have cognitive science. This is a wonderful area called cognitive science, which actually uh, starts intersecting linguistics, anthropology with machine learning and psychology. We have human biology, which is combination of biology and sociology of people. We have human-centered technology, which is an amalgamation of machine learning, AI, sociology, and behavioral science. So, international studies, we have, which is an intersection or rather an amalgamation of international relations, anthropology, political science, religious studies. Then this is one topic that most people are studying right now, international business, which actually covers the marketing, finance, economics, accounting, public policy, and political science. So these are multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary areas that actually are, in fact, are more popular right now. And we can see that that these are the emerging fields. In fact, emerging fields of in interdisciplinary studies. In fact, these are the emerging fields. Cyber engineering. Most people are familiar about cyber security, but then what cyber engineering? Cyber engineering primarily is cyber security plus hardware engineering. Okay, electrical engineering, computer science, software engineering, digital forensics, mathematics, all of them, the principles of all of these combined together makes a cyber engineer, someone who's actually adept or skilled in cyber security, along with building hardware that can resist or that can actually support or resist cyber attacks. Then we have biomedical informatics, clinical and biological applications of computer science. This is one emerging topic or emerging area. We have biomechatronics or robotics engineering, which actually requires principles of electrical electronics, mechanical engineering, and biology. Very much in demand right now, because a lot of robotic surgeries and robotic applications are actually happening. So someone sitting on the other side of the world, someone sitting in America, a doctor sitting in America, can actually operate on a patient in India, operate on a patient in India without even coming to India. So this is how a lot of technology is being developed. Then we have environmental sustainability, which actually is intersection of environmental science, biology, public policy, earth sciences. We also have game design. This is for all those people, all those people who are passionate about game design. We require principles of computer science, visual arts, fine arts, creative writing, new media, because this is emerging, as I said, new media, because mass communications, journalism, public policy, studies, all of them combined together to actually result in a subject called new media. We have nanotechnology, nanomedicine, which actually is an amalgamation of physical and biological sciences, because nanomedicine is targeted medicine. For example, if you have uh, part of the body which is actually affected or particularly impacted, which is something that actually needs to get targeted medication. So nanotechnology is being deployed, nano capsules are being deployed, and then targeted medication is actually being employed. This is next generation medicine for you. Urban studies, which is an intersection of architecture, urban planning, economics, and public policy. This is also one topic. That is also one emerging area for students of architecture or planning or civil engineers, people who actually are keen about economics and public policy. So these are the areas, if you can see, these are the people who also are electrical engineers, computer scientists, software engineers, and digital forensic scientists and mathematicians are also eligible for cyber engineering. If you are looking at eligibility factor for these areas, because this field encompasses all these areas, so people come from these backgrounds, cyber engineering are eligible to become cyber engineers. So someone who's actually from an electrical engineering background, electronics engineering background, or mechanical engineering, or even a biology background, they also are eligible for biomechatronics or robotics engineering. So this is how eligibility matters. In fact, in interdisciplinary fields, people coming from different backgrounds, any background that is actually in fact becomes a part that actually results in the field, are eligible for for learning, becoming a cyber engineer or a biomechatronics engineer or a robotics engineer or a game designer or a nanotechnologist or urban scientist. So let's look at the best countries to start. Let's look at some of the best countries to study abroad. For physical sciences, these are the five top countries: US, Germany, UK, Canada, and Australia. These are some of the top countries for studying physical sciences because they have some of the the best research in physical sciences, in engineering or IT or computing or anything that you would call as physical sciences, mathematics, statistics, name it, you have it. So in the US, we have MIT, Stanford, UCal, Berkeley, California Institute of Technology, Carnegie Mellon, Harvard, and in Germany, you also have wonderful institutions. These are highly reputed and ranked, and then they have cutting edge research, in fact, going on in physical sciences. And in UK, you have Imperial College, you have University of Cambridge, University of Oxford. These two combined are known as Oxbridge. University of Manchester. And you have from Canada, you have University of Waterloo, Toronto, UBC, British Columbia, Alberta, McGill, and in Australia, the group of 8 universities: University of New South Wales, University of Sydney, University of Adelaide, University of Sydney, RMIT, Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. These are some of the best institutions to study abroad in the field of physical sciences. To pick up any topic in physical sciences, these universities have some of the best research or the best research, cutting edge research in physical sciences, in the field of physical sciences. Then when it comes to studying biological sciences, also the same countries, they have wonderful research in biological sciences. Same institutions. In the US, you have MIT, Stanford, UCal, Berkeley, Caltech, Harvard. In UK, you have Cambridge, Oxford, University College London, Imperial College of London, and University of Edinburgh. In Germany, also Heidelberg, Munich, TU Munich, Humboldt, Tübingen, Free University of Berlin. In Canada, you have University of Toronto, UBC, McGill, University of Alberta, and University of Montreal. In Australia, the same: University of Melbourne, Queensland, Monash, University of Sydney, University of New South Wales. These are some of the best institutions for research in biological sciences. And if you are looking at social sciences now, the list is a little different. In the US, you also have same set of institutions: MIT, Stanford, Harvard, Princeton University is also very good for research in social sciences, in the field of social science. And you have UCal, Berkeley, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. In the UK, you have Cambridge, University of Cambridge, Imperial College. London School of Economics is known for its research in social sciences, and King's College in London, University of Oxford, they have wonderful research in the field of social sciences. Australia, in Australia, you have University of Queensland, Monash, University of New South Wales, Australian National University, Griffith. These are very good work or very good research in social sciences. We're looking at Canada as a destination: Toronto, UBC, McGill, Simon Fraser University, Montreal, McMaster. These are some of the best institutions offering research or having wonderful research in the field of social sciences. Germany also has University of Munich, Humboldt University, Heidelberg, Free University of Berlin, TU Munich. They have wonderful research in social sciences. Whereas when it comes to arts and humanities, you also have a different set of universities in US: Harvard, Yale, New York University, Stanford, UCal, Berkeley, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. In the UK, you have Oxford, Cambridge, University College London, Edinburgh, King's College, London School of Economics, Germany, you have University of Munich, Ball University in Berlin, Tübingen, Free University of Berlin and Heidelberg University. In Canada, you have Toronto, McGill, UBC, York, University of Alberta. In Australia, you have University of Sydney, Melbourne, ANU, Australian National University, Macquarie University, University of Queensland for research in arts and humanities fields. Sorry. Let's look at to know your basic background. I mean, we are all familiar with MPC, maths, physics, and chemistry background. And in the middle, you have a set of fields that are traditionally eligible fields for students of MPC background, Bachelor of Science, any sharing technology. And some of the professional opportunities that you have are on the right-hand side. You can see that on the extreme side of the screen. There's some of the professional opportunities that you can actually, that can actually result from a bachelor's in engineering or technology. If you do a BR or a bachelor of planning, those are the opportunities that are available. And if you're doing a bachelor in fashion technology, this is also an opportunity. If you're doing a bachelor of design, a bachelor of interior design, this is on the right hand side, designer, interior designer. This is some of the opportunities. If you're doing a bachelor of science, maths, physics, or chemistry with some combination subjects, maths, stats, or maths something. So these are the options. Primarily, a primary major is maths. Then you become a mathematician, statistician, data scientist, data analyst, information analyst. These are some of the professional opportunities available for people who actually do a bachelor's in with a focus with a major in maths. Those who actually do a bachelor of science with a major in physics can actually become an astrophysicist, a physicist, or a researcher. And those who actually do a bachelor's in with chemistry as their major subject can become an analytical chemist, teacher, research associate, etc. These are only some of the opportunities that are presented to people who are studying abroad. They're not meant for these are just some of them. There are plenty more. Let's look at the BPC stream. You're all familiar with the BPC stream, and then the eligible degrees. Someone could actually do a bachelor's in medicine, dentistry, nursing, optometry, physiotherapy, and then someone who is coming from a BPC background can do a PharmD, doctor pharmacy, a 6-year course, or a bachelor pharmacy, a 4-year program, or a diploma pharmacy, a 3-year diploma pharmacy. Those are the opportunities on the right-hand side. You have all the opportunities for students coming from a BPC stream who are doing a bachelor's in medicine, or dentistry, or nursing, or optometry, or physiotherapy, pharma. Then you also have a traditional bachelor's in agriculture to actually become an agriculturist or a food scientist or a food technologist. So someone actually has done his bachelor's in agriculture BSc, AGBSc, actually can become a food scientist or a food technologist as well. You have Bachelor of Veterinary Sciences to become if you're really passionate about animals and their welfare, veterinarian or veterinary officer. If you're really fascinated with marine sciences, you can become a marine scientist or an aquaculturist. And what can you study if you are coming from a CEC, Commerce, Economics, Civics, or an MEC, Maths, Economics, Commerce background? Those are the branches that you can actually study. You can actually study Bachelor's in Commerce, Financial Accounting, Banking, Business, and Management. And on the right-hand side, you have the professional opportunities that are available for people who are studying these degrees. This is not exhaustive. These are only some of the opportunities, some of the many opportunities that are available. This is not all. Some of the opportunities that are available for people who are doing this degrees. Okay, and let's see the fields which do not require a specific background like MPC, BPC, MEC, CEC. Any background can be eligible for a Bachelor of Arts in Applied Psychology, Economics, Geography, Cartography, Journalism, Philosophy, Political Science, History, English, Social Work, Archaeology, Public Administration, and Foreign Language. So if you're doing a Bachelor of Arts, a bachelor's degree in these areas, these are independent of whatever 12 standard subjects you have studied. Whatever it may be, you can actually, in fact, do these fields. Bachelor's in Applied Psychology or Economics, or Geography, Cartography, any of these fields, and go on to become a market research analyst, an economist, a geographer, a cartographer, journalist, columnist, editor, reporter. You can study philosophy as well, and you can also study political science or history, English, social work or sociology, archaeology, public administration. And these are some of the career opportunities, professional opportunities meant for students who come from any stream in +2. So, and this is a continuation of the different streams. Your students are coming from any stream can actually study law, Bachelor of Legal Studies, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Law, combined degrees, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor's in Social Work, and Bachelor of Law. So there are 2 degrees. It's a dual degree program. And then these people studying law in their bachelor's can actually look at these professional opportunities on the right hand side: litigator, lawyer, advocate, etc., legal advisor, legal consultant. Or if you're passionate about culinary arts or hospitality, and you are a good host, you probably can look at bachelor's in hospitality, hotel administration, a bachelor's in hotel management, a bachelor of culinary arts, and move on to opportunities on the right hand side. If you're looking at mass communications, this is also irrespective of your plus two background, of your 10 plus two background. You can do a bachelor's in mass communication, journalism, media studies, and then completely become an anchor, or you can become a reporter, journalist, as I said, content writer, creative writer, PR specialist. These are some of the opportunities that are available if you are doing something in mass communications. You also have an opportunity to actually study fine arts or visual arts. People of any stream can actually study fine arts or visual arts. You have any stream in your plus two, irrespective of whatever your plus two stream is: MPC, BPC, MEC, CEC. You can do a bachelor of design, fine arts, visual arts, master of creative arts, and you can enter these industries: creative industry, fine arts, design, visual arts. If you are really creative, you can move on to professional opportunities in the apparel industry, automobile, exhibition, fashion, furniture, game, graphic, industrial, interior, etc. Performing arts. This is all the artists come from these fields: bachelor of performing arts with music, singing, dancing, acting, and people who actually do a BPA, but Bachelor of Performing Arts, with a specialization in music, acting, or dancing, or singing. These are the ones. These are our entertainers. You can become actors, composers, choreographers, directors, musicians, performers, screenwriters, singers, okay, trainers, vocalists. You also have sports, Bachelor of Sports Management or Bachelor of Physical Education, for people coming from any stream in their plus two. They can move on to become sports managers or players or coaches, physical trainers or athletes. So if you want to manage the next IPL team, probably this is your subject. And then we have the most important checkpoints. So before you actually shortlist any institution, so now that we know the field, in case you finalized your field of study, what should you do? How should you proceed before shortlisting universities? What are the checkpoints? What are the parameters that you should actually look forward? What are the checkpoints that you should actually start looking into before you start shortlisting, or before you actually start picking up institutions and say that these are compatible? Look at the availability of your preferred course or specialization. Look at the availability of the course. See if the institution is offering your course, because there are certain courses which are not offered for international students. So please be very sure that the course or specialization is offered for international students. As an international student, you are supposed to take a course on campus, and it should be a full-time course. It should be a full-time degree and a full-time course. Some of the courses are reserved for people who actually are locals, who are citizens or probably permanent settlers. So that's a different option. You may not be eligible. So look at the availability of that course for international students. This is first point. Then you look at the accreditation or recognition. There are a lot of recognizing bodies, just like we have a UGC, AICTE, okay, and AIO, Association of Indian Universities. We have certain regulatory bodies, okay, which are part of the Ministry of, which are in India. These are all part of the Ministry of Human Resources Development, which actually regulate or recognize education institutions and the quality maintain and ensure that they maintain the quality standards. Then there is in India, we have NAAC, National Assessment Accreditation Council. So this is also a quality parameter, quality maintenance parameter. These recognizing bodies recognize institutions, or rather rate institutions after a thorough audit. They conduct an audit and then they start giving a rating or a ranking or a recognition for the institution and the courses offered by the institution. Similarly, even overseas and abroad, institutions also have similarly recognizing bodies. So when you actually are picking up any institution, please also ensure you are looking at recognition. It should be regionally or nationally accredited. Okay, so look at the regional accreditation or national accreditation. So these are some of the things that you should actually look at before starting to pick up institutions, or before shortlisting any institution. For business schools, AICSP or AMBA, Association of MBAs, EQUIS in Europe. These are the recognizing or certifying or quality standard bodies. So make sure that the university or institution is actually in fact displaying AICSP accreditation or AMBA accreditation in their website or somewhere as part of the program. So before you shortlist the institution. You also look at the location to see if it's convenient. People nearby, you have letters or friends or someone, so that they can help you out with accommodation or maybe terms of part-time jobs or something like that. Also look at the tuition and living costs. Make sure you're aware about the budget that you can afford, because this is one important parameter. Don't apply to institutions which are no which are going to be very expensive, or which are actually going to be beyond your pocket, okay, which are going to be out of beyond your affordability range. So make sure that that you also make your sponsor aware about the tuition and living costs, because studying abroad is certainly an expensive affair. So know the tuition and living expenses at the location before actually shortlisting that institution. Then look at the scholarship possibilities, look at the fellowships, assistantships, the tuition waivers, merit-based awards that the institution is offering. And that's one checkpoint you should always look at, because these are going to reduce your financial stress or your financial burden on your sponsor by a significant amount. Look at the possibility of the fellowships or assistantships or any kind of tuition discounts or waivers and merit-based awards that the institution is offering. Also, this is one more parameter, not the first one, but I would probably put it somewhere in between, because ranking or reputation of the institution is just a starting point. Okay, you can probably look at the ranking or the reputation, but don't get carried away by the ranking or reputation. You always look at the ranking or reputation for your department or for your program. Look at the program ranking, never at the overall ranking of the institution, because some universities might be highly reputed, or maybe they could be the top 10 or top 5 in the world, or maybe in the country. But then as far as your program is concerned, they may not be the top 10 at all. So remember to actually look at reputed websites like Times Higher Education, QS Rankings, or US News, or Snago, Multirank, or Webmetrics. These are just going to give you an initial idea. So don't select an institution just by looking at the ranking or reputation. Look at the compatibility of the course also. That's a very, very important parameter. I've realized, or probably a lot of students actually tend to give a lot of importance to ranking. But if you want to give importance to ranking, look at the program ranking, or your major ranking, or your department ranking. Then start looking at it. It's not the start, it's just a starting point, not the ending point. Do not pick up institution just by reputation. Look at other parameters as well. And also look at the admission procedure and acceptance criteria. It's very, very important, because you also need to know how well the university fits in. See, this is a symbiotic relationship where you need to fit into the university's norms, and the university needs to fit into your norms, or your pocket, or your criteria. So let it be mutual. And this is where you actually have to make sure that you are able to sync both. And look at the impossibility of internships, externships, paid or unpaid, both are the same. Internships, externships, part-time jobs, and campus opportunities. So this is one more checkpoint that you should also be aware. What kind of internship opportunities or externship opportunities and part-time or campus jobs institution has to offer. Then you also look at the campus placements or post-completion work rights that the institution is actually, or the country is actually offering. Also, if you're looking at settling abroad, you also look at permanent residence or settlement opportunities, in the institution, but through that university. Your permanent residence or settlement opportunities are offered by the country. So before you shortlist the institution, ensure that your course actually counts towards permanent residence, or gives you a post-completion work benefit, which will ultimately lead to permanent residence or settlement opportunity. These are some of the checkpoints that everyone has to remember before starting to shortlist, or start jumping into deciding upon institutions abroad. Because deciding upon an institution or deciding upon a country is a big decision which involves a lot of money. So I'm sure that all of you must be aware, and keep these factors in mind before starting to decide upon an institution that is going to also dictate your fate, that is also going to become a part of your life, because education is for life. Let's look at the admission procedures. You start off with looking at the entrance examinations and various aptitude tests. The SAT, the Scholastic Aptitude Test, is for admission to undergrad programs. Then the Graduate Record Exam, the GRE, is for admission to postgrad, or what we say as graduate level programs. In the GMAT, the Graduate Management Aptitude Test, is for admission to postgrad business courses. So look at which test is being asked, and look at which test. I believe GMAT is slightly tougher than the GRE. So if in case any institution accepts the GRE and the GMAT, please go for GRE if you feel it is something that that is within your comfort zone, because ultimately it's up to you. You are the candidate. You are going to write the exam. You are the one who's going to study. So please make sure that that you are able to find compatible options for yourself. Something that actually fits in. Okay, don't just go with what someone else said. See, someone else might find the GMAT easy, but you might find the GMAT tough, and you might probably find me more comfortable with the GRE. So always rely upon your own decision. Ask for opinions, but ultimately you are your own judge. Let's look at the language proficiency examinations that are also required. There are plenty of examinations. I mean, there are plenty of exams that are available for students to actually show or prove their language proficiency, particularly because we are basically multilingual country. We speak a variety of languages. Since our mother tongue or native language is not English, we are definitely required to demonstrate our language fluency and language proficiency through one of these examinations: the TOEFL, the IELTS, or Pearson Test of English, or the Duolingo English test. Please check with institution as to which test the university accepts. Some tests may not, and also look at one more parameter. Also make sure that that in some countries like Australia, Canada, the visa embassy also recognizes certain tests and they do not recognize certain other tests. So please ensure that you know that restriction or limitation, and make sure that you are taking an exam which is useful for both admission and visa as well. Do not write something just because it's easy. Someone else has told you that it is an easy exam. You will end up writing two tests instead of one. Is pick up a test or select a test which is actually compatible for both admission as well as visa. So instead of writing two examinations separately, one for admission, one for visa, pick up an exam that is going to be multi-purpose. So any country-specific language tests. For example, some countries, when you say you're studying in Germany, some institutions stipulate that you should have a very good fluency of maybe German German language fluency at A2 level or A1 level or whatever levels it could be, depending on the institution. So any country-specific languages. Let's say if you're studying in France, some institutions might require you to also learn the French language. So please be aware of these requirements, or please check on these requirements before you start deciding upon how to progress. Then as part of the admission procedure, you also have to submit official academic transcripts that are attested or verified academic mark sheets and degree certificates. So probably most students who are looking for undergrad admission might be required to submit transcripts, attested copies of their 10th and plus 2 mark sheets, intermediate mark sheets. And those who are going for postgraduate education might be required to submit transcripts of their degree, qualifying degree, individual semester-wise mark sheets along with the consolidated or the degree certificates, proving that they have officially successfully completed their degree. Then you have letters of recommendation. These are reference letters or recommendation letters from key faculty members. If you are working elsewhere and you have some work experience, you probably could take a testimonial or a reference letter from your employer, your boss, your supervisor, anyone who's actually at a level higher than you. And preferably institutional or organizational email addresses should be used, because universities are going to check on authenticity of these. And you have one more very important document that is required. It's called the statement of purpose. It's an academic objectives or a goal statement. A lot of emphasis on this one. It's not everything. I mean, it's definitely a part of the academic requirement. Let it be genuine, honest presentation about yourself, what you are and what you expect the institution and what you want to contribute, what you expect to get back in return, and what is your future plan. So academic goals, a statement of academic goals or academic objectives should be an honest statement about yourself. You should speak about what you are, who you are, and what you expect to what you expect from the institution that you are going to, and what is it that you can contribute. How, in what way are you going to contribute? What research or what groundwork you have done to actually shortlist or zero in upon institution, and what is your future ambition, or what is your future goal. So these in an essay form within the word limit prescribed by the institution, prepare this statement so that it could speak on your behalf before the admissions committee. This is very important because you are not physically present to explain yourself. So statement of purpose would actually be something that could speak on your behalf. It's something that could actually speak on your essay to the admissions committee, and that speaks a lot about yourself, what you are and who you are and what you can do, or in what way you can contribute to the institution. So that's something that that is definitely gaining a lot of importance, and many institutions are looking at this statement of purpose as an essay that speaks for the candidate. We also can prepare an resume with details of your academic, co-curricular, extracurricular activities. Mind you, don't repeat all the entire content in your resume in your statement of. So I've seen many SOPs rather biographical in nature. Literally, it's the entire resume written in essay form in the statement of purpose. So do not repeat whatever is there in your CV in the SOP. Do not do that. Rather, let it be an honest representation of yourself. Any other department requirement, please look into, because some departments might require additional forms or additional background sheets, information forms. So there are additional department requirements that you might have to fulfill. So please have a look at them, and probably you could complete your application procedure this way. Let's look at the tuition and living expenses for bachelors in the US. In the US, the tuition fee ranges from anywhere from 60 to 80 lakhs. It could be a lot less depending on the institution. If you're getting a scholarship, this could probably come down by as much as probably could become probably become 30 to 40 lakhs. The living expenses range from 25 to 40 lakhs because it's a 4-year degree in the US. And similarly, in Canada, the tuition fee ranges from 50 to 70 lakhs, and the living costs range from 20 to 30 because it's a 4-year bachelor's in Canada. In the UK, it's a 3-year degree. In Scotland, it's 4 years. So the tuition fee ranges from 40 to 60 lakhs for a bachelor's, and the living costs range from 20 to 30 lakhs. In Australia, the tuition fee ranges from 40 to 60, and the living costs range from 20 to 30 lakhs. In Australia, and in Germany, there is no tuition costs for technical programs, but for management programs, they do charge tuition costs, and the living costs range from 24 to 30 lakhs if it's a bachelor's degree in Germany. If you are looking at a master's degree in the US, the tuition fee ranges from 30 to 15 on average. Could be a lot higher for some institutions which are like very, very expensive in terms of tuition. The living costs generally range from 50 to 25 lakhs, and in Canada, the tuition fee is from 25 to 40 lakhs typically, and the living expenses range from 15 to 20. UK, the tuition fee is about 15 to 25, and living costs range from 10 to 20 lakhs. In Australia, the tuition fee ranges from 30 to 40 lakhs. The living costs range from 10 to 20. Germany, as usual, there's no tuition fee for the technical programs, whereas there is a tuition cost for our management. If you're going for management courses in Germany, there is a tuition cost that you have to bear. The living costs range from 20 lakhs in Germany. Let's see how we can finance your bachelor's degree. In the US, finances for your bachelor's degree, plenty of tuition waivers, assistantships through tutoring or internships, which actually pay you the tuition waivers. See, the tuition fee waivers are all merit-based. Similarly, assistantships are also merit-based. So please maintain a good academic profile. Make sure that your academics are consistent, not just high academic GPAs and erratic. Okay, it should be pretty consistent. You're financing your bachelor's degrees. These are handy resources that could reduce the burden of your bachelor. So your 10th and your +2 performance is very, very important to actually get hold of this merit assistance, merit scholarships or tuition waivers. And then of course, one more mechanism through which you can partially offset, not completely, partially pay for your living expenses through part-time jobs, which are for 20 hours a week on campus only during college, and maybe 40 hours a week during holidays, vacations. In Canada, the same. The tuition fee waivers, assistantships are, you could probably be assisting a teacher or a professor, a faculty member in grading, or probably with their classwork, and handing out assignments, doing things which are helpful for the professor or faculty in conducting his duties. You could also be looking at internships as a source of revenue. You could also make some earnings through paid internships. Then we have part-time jobs for 20 hours a week during college and 40 hours a week during vacations. And on no restriction in Canada, you need not actually, in fact, only work on campus. You can work off campus as well. Similarly, in UK, you have tuition discounts or merit awards. Assistantships are generally reserved in the UK for research students. So if you are doing a research degree in the UK, there are assistantships or probably stipend supports which are given to research candidates. Similarly, you also have part-time jobs which can partially offset your costs, which means these can reduce your living expenses. Probably these can actually help with your living expenses. And 20 hours per week during college when you have college, and 40 hours during vacations. Australia, you also have tuition discounts or merit scholarships, which actually reduce your tuition fee by as much as 50%. So assistantships are usually also reserved for research in Australia. And you also have access to part-time jobs for 20 hours a week during college. When you actually have college, you're limited to 20 hours a week and 40 hours during vacations. Germany, tuition fee as usual is 0 for technical programs, but then it's a little higher for the management programs. Part-time jobs, as usual, you are 20 hours a week off campus. You can work anywhere in Germany. on a student visa, and then 40 hours during vacations. If you're looking at financing your master's degree, in the US, you do have tuition waivers, assistantships. You have, because you are a master's student, a postgraduate student, you have assistantships in form of teaching fellowships or research fellowships, where you'll be teaching classes to undergraduate students. You will be teaching classes to undergrad students, or maybe helping a professor to whom you're assigned with his teaching duties or research duties with their lab or project or something. So project fellowships are also there, and you also have access to paid internships. Similarly, you also have part-time jobs, 20 hours a week on campus and 40 hours during vacations. These could also probably support you with your living expenses. But then, mind you, this is not enough. The amount of money that you earn through part-time jobs is not enough to actually pay off your tuition costs. So do not go with the assumption that you can actually work part-time and pay your tuition costs. That will never happen. Canada, you also have tuition fee waivers and assistantships, same kind of teaching and research assistantships. You also have internships and part-time jobs to actually help you with your living expenses. This could offset your living expenses, probably 20 hours during college, and then maybe 40 hours during vacations. You probably could earn a little higher. Similarly, in the UK, you have tuition discounts or merit awards. Assistantships are generally reserved for research candidates, those who are doing exclusive research. There's a master's for research in UK. So assistantships usually are reserved for them, and they're given selectively. Part-time jobs, 20 hours a week during college and 40 hours during vacations. You also have tuition discounts, merit awards in Australia, and assistantships, as usual, are meant for research. Part-time jobs, 20 hours a week during college and 40 hours during vacation. And Germany, you don't have any tuition costs for the technical programs, whereas you have some tuition for management programs. Part-time jobs, as usual, 20 hours a week during college and 40 hours during vacations. And then let's look at other scholarships. And in the US, they are these are very, very competitive in nature, and they're given a limited number of these every year. And there is a notification that is released by the respective consulates or embassies, and we'll have to be watchful. Keep on monitoring the embassy website. For US, it is the USIEF, United States Education Foundation India, which actually maintains, rather notifies candidates regarding the scholarships. So, and then there are university specific research awards. Okay, so each university gets its own research rewards. So these are some of the scholarships. Hubert Humphrey Fellowship Program. Then you have Fulbright Nehru scholarships. These are awarded by the US government, and there are some university specific research awards. Similarly, for Canada, Elliott Trudeau Foundation gives out doctoral scholarships. And then each university in Canada, there are some universities which have their own rewards or awards. These are given out for students with outstanding credentials, and these are all merit based, and then these are awarded at different fields. Similarly, for UK, you have the British Chevening scholarships, which are awarded every year. Similarly, Scotland Saltire scholarships and the Commonwealth Master scholarships, and also each university also university specific scholarships also are there, which are going to be very helpful for people who actually are very keen on research. Okay, most of the scholarships for the given by the universities are meant for research, and these are given to outstanding performers or outstanding candidates who have wonderful track record, academic track record, research track record. So these are some scholarships that are competitive in nature, and if you could also probably be getting those. If you have a very good profile, you probably can also apply for these scholarships. Australia also gives Australian Award scholarships, Destination Australia scholarships, Australian Research Training, RTP, Australian Research Training Program scholarship, and some university-specific scholarships. And Germany has its own academic exchange, EAD, the German Academic Exchange Scholarship Program, Heinrich Böll Foundation Scholarship in Deutschland Stipendium National Scholarship, Erasmus Scholarship Program. This is also available, and these are actually sponsored or funded by the German government. So let's do a quick comparison of bachelor's degrees. We're looking at US as a 4-year degree. Admission requirements, you probably might be asked for the SAT examination, although this could be waived. Students who are aspiring for scholarships probably can think about writing the SAT. We generally encourage them to write the SAT examination, particularly because it actually allows them to probably qualify themselves for a scholarship. Similarly, the academics should be first class degree. The expenses actually range from 70 to 1 crore, 70 lakhs to 1 crore. And then we are looking at part-time earnings of 20 lakhs. So if we minus that, the effective or the net cost of education could be 50 to 80, between 50 to 80 lakhs, depending on the institution. And because that's a 4-year program, part-time jobs as usual, you are given a 20-year part-time job. And then there is a 12-month, 12 months of post completion work benefit. I mean, stay back option for 12 months upon completion of the course in non-STEM fields. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And for now, those who are in non-STEM fields, the government actually gives them a 1-year additional stay back. For those who are studying STEM fields, there is a 36-month post completion stay back option. And in US, you also have 2 years degrees called associate degrees. Associate degrees is for people who actually want to, in fact, want to study a 2-year degree. It's called associate, and after that, again, who want to move on to something else, and then they want to complete. Or for people who actually complete 2 years of bachelor's in India, and then they want to go there and then do another 2 more years. So associate degrees could be for people who actually are from a +2 background and just want to go there and probably do a short-term degree, a short-term course. So associate degrees also have the same criteria, although that may not be required. An English language test with academics above 60%. The expenses, because this is a 2-year degree, expenses are probably half of what you see for a 4-year degree. And the same benefit 12 years, 12 months for a non-STEM field, 36 months for STEM fields. Similarly, in UK, 3 years bachelor's if it's England, Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But it's a 4-year bachelor's if you are studying in Scotland. And Scotland is your Scotland. I believe most of you might have seen Scotland in Harry Potter series. A lot of Scottish universities are actually showcased in the Harry Potter series. So those are Scottish universities for you. And then we have the same IELTS academics about 60% with a tuition cost of 5270, and with 15 lakhs of part-time earnings, probably could effectively end up spending a lot less. 24 months of post-study work visa is right now being granted for people who are going to UK. Let's look at Canada. Same thing, 4 years please. IELTS or TOEFL are accepted, and academics should be above 60% first class. Effective cost of education will be 44 lakhs, same 20 hours part-time, and then you're getting a 36 months of stay back. Similarly, if you're going for a 2 or 3 years undergraduate diploma called as advanced diploma, the criteria is same. Undergrad diploma is same. In Canada, you get to do get 36 months or 3 years of stay back option. If you're doing at least 2 years of diploma, 2 years or 3 years, 2+ years of diploma course, you probably get 36 months of stay back option to stay back and work in the country. Australia, you have bachelor's. Some are the honors bachelor's is 4 years, the regular bachelor's is 3 years, and then the stay back option currently being granted by the Australian government. The current latest is 36 to 48 months, so 3 to 4 years, depending on the place where you're studying. Regional Australia, people who are studying in regional territories, regional places get a 48 months stay back, and those are studying in urban locations actually get 36 months, 3 years. Germany, if you are doing a technical program for 3 years, you might be asked for basic knowledge of German language, and academics should be high because German admissions are very, very competitive in nature. And then you have 18 months, 1.5 year of stay back option in Germany. Similarly, if you're going for a management program at the bachelor's level in Germany, same case, you have to spend in the pocket because government doesn't fund management programs. 18 months of stay back is also given for Germany. Let's look at the master's degrees. In US, if you're doing a master's degree, it's typically of 2 years duration. You might require the entrance examinations like GRE or GMAT, along with an English language test. Academics should be at least 55% or above. 55% or above. Academics should be at least. You're looking at expense of around 40 lakhs for the tuition and living combined. This is an average expense. It's not the total one. Probably it could be a little higher or lower. Part-time earnings minus part-time earnings, you probably could be looking at a net education cost of 28 lakhs. And then you have the same 12-month post-completion stay back for non-STEM fields, or 36 months stay back for STEM fields. You're looking at UK as an option. You have 1 year degrees, and nowadays I guess we are getting 1+1 option where you have 1 year of coursework and 1 year of internship. And the qualifying criteria is an IELTS exam, academics between 50 to 55% at least. we are looking at expense of about 20 lakhs for tuition plus living, and less part-time earnings, you could effectively end up spending 15 lakhs or even less. With scholarships, this could also be even lesser. And we are looking at a 24 months of post-study work visa. Post-study work PSW is for 24 months. In Canada, we have 2 years of masters, and we are looking at 36 months of post-completion stay back. Canada is also competitive. We definitely require academics about 60%. And if you are doing a 1-year postgrad diploma in Canada with academics above 50%, you probably could be getting a 12-month post-completion stay back. Similarly, in Australia, if you are looking at a 2-year master's degree, IELTS or TOEFL or PTE is accepted, and but then I believe academics should be at least 50 to 55%. And then we are looking at a 24 to 36 months of stayback option for post-completion stayback. Now it is revised to 36 to 48 months. The government has actually, because now they are allowing people to come in to Australia, they have actually given out incentives, 36 to 48 months of stayback depending on the location. In Germany, if you are going for a 2-year master's, you definitely need to have basic German language knowledge, not for the sake of admission, for your own survival, but academics are very important, 70% and above. GRE is highly encouraged because most German institutions nowadays are actually asking for the GRE, or sometimes they're also asking for a very unconventional exam called the GATE examination. They are asking for the GATE score. IELTS and TOEFL are accepted language exams, and effectively your expenses could be just the living expense. The tuition cost is zero, and if you're looking at Germany, you end up getting post-completion stay back for 18 months upon completion. So this is a quick comparison of master's degrees for you. I believe my presentation was rather exhaustive. I believe most of you might be exhausted. Let's take some quick queries. If anyone of you has, you can also type in your queries in the chat box.
Yeah, Satish, it was an excellent presentation, man. There's a lot of information, and definitely the students can. You have given so much of information, and I think after watching this webinar, students will not have much what we call as doubts. Okay.
Yeah.
But before we go to some question answers, Satish. So let me share my screen. Can you stop sharing?
Yeah, just a second. Stop sharing. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. So just I want to show how Edgroom can help the students who wish to search for some knowledge, and we do focus a lot on course education. We are also pumping a lot of content into it, and let me just show you just for a minute. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, somebody can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yeah, thank you. So if you look at this Ednews, we have developed this product called Ednews, where students can search a lot of information. For example, if they simply want to know, for example, study abroad, let's say, just they put the word study abroad, they get a lot of content related to this abroad education. Or if they want to find out this ranking, the QS rankings, okay, and even we have pumped some content to it. So a lot of information available even for the students who are preparing or who wish to go to US or other country. They just come and do this research here. And if you do the same thing, if you go to Google, they don't get this type of handy information that we have done. Just let me show you there very quickly. Suppose if I just put the word study abroad here, what happens? So this is how the content is coming here. And now you see an Edgroom, if you look at the same study abroad, if I keep the word study abroad, so you see the search results are completely different. So Satish, what do you say on this? How useful this for the student who want to do some research on course education?
It's actually wonderful, Venki, because the search engine's actually written a lot of information But I
Yeah.
believe it's all scattered and non-targeted. In fact, if I search for something, study abroad, I get to know maybe because of Google SEO, we get irrelevant content also. Sometimes because
Yes.
Google has a lot of ads on study abroad. If you just type in keywords and something like study abroad is a very broad topic. And to type in study abroad, there are hundreds of paid ads which are listed at the beginning. And then
Yeah.
maybe your search results could be probably a lot below, down below.
Yes.
This is something
Now
that,
see, Satish, this article,
people
for
are finding it
example,
difficult.
want to study abroad. These 7 platforms can lot of information, useful information available here. So if anybody wanted to really, as for example, medicine, they can do whatever they want. So we are doing a lot, and very soon we are going to get some filters also for it. And definitely, Edgroom is a place where students can search a lot of information related to not only the careers, even for overseas education also. Yeah, Satish, I wanted to ask you some questions about your own institute. Can you share us where exactly your address is all about? Because some of the people wanted to approach you after this webinar, or they may want to contact you. So where exactly you work from?
We are primarily located on, I would say, Sampathvinayaka Temple Road. We are opposite GRT Jewelers in a building called Vinayagar Heights, in the 5th floor. We are, in the ground floor, you can probably see Centro and Tarani showrooms.
Okay.
In the same building, we are on the 5th floor. And of course, our board, the glow sign board is visible.
I think it's near Dominus, right?
Yeah, next to the Domino's building.
Yeah,
Adjacent to the Domino's
the
building.
landmark building is there.
Right. We are just next to the landmark building.
Okay, that's a landmark. Most of the people, if you say that Dominus in near what was Sampathvinayaka, people can identify.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
Satish, I want to ask you some more questions about your institute.
Sure.
How Skylark is different from other consulting firms?
Venki, primarily, our original concept started off with being student oriented. We are not here to rather promote ourselves. Rather, we give a lot of time to students. We actually, when we counsel a student, we personally talk to the student to let the student express himself or herself. Let the student know, first of all, express themselves. They have to know. We just help them open up themselves, and then we talk to them, and then try to find a matching, instead of coming to us, and then we don't really go with a standard approach. Rather, we go with an adaptive approach, wherein we try to find best fit options meant for the students, and that is along with the students' aptitude and attitude, because it's called custom driven approach, what we call as a custom driven student centric or student oriented approach, because we generally talk to students, give a lot of time to understand their situation and what exactly is their background and what they want to do. So sometimes they could come up with very different kind of backgrounds. We have students who come from a engineering background and suddenly say that I want to get into fashion design. So yeah, fashion design definitely requires students to have a bachelor's in fashion or a diploma in fashion. Without any kind of formal background, nobody can actually get into a master's in fashion. So we tell them there are courses which, like brand management, luxury brand management, an MBA in luxury or retail management, or MBA in brand management, which are open for people from any kind of background. So we can usually advise them that there are two things, in fact, and we have to be realistic also. We try to find an approach where we can probably find a better fit for the student, where they can pursue their passion, and at the same time also there something that is going to give them a profession. There are definitely is a lot of difference between passion and profession. I might have a passion for music, but my profession is this counseling, career counseling. So yeah, definitely we try to find a balance between these two, because one is going to feed you, the other is going to be mentally satisfying. So we'll have to find a balance between these and make sure that students are picking up realistic careers or realistic possibilities or realistic choices in which they can probably make a career, because that's very important to actually plan things in the long run.
Yeah, definitely, Satish, because some people, what they do, they just wanted to scatter the needs, right? Without what you call it as telling them what exactly the future looks like.
Right.
But what the students and parents need is what exactly the picture is, right?
Right.
As you said, somebody completed engineering, they wanted to go to what you call it as fashion design, where they are irrelevant.
Right.
So definitely they should have some prerequisites for it, and they have to do it. Okay.
Right.
And one more, Satish, are you giving any training sessions? Suppose a student is in first year or second year, and he wished to go to US after 4 years of engineering.
Okay.
So, do you provide any training sessions or any coaching start for them?
We do have online training, Venki. We actually are providing online training for the IELTS and for the TOEFL PT examinations.
Okay.
Gradually, because of the pandemic, in fact, our in-house sessions have been put on hold. Gradually,
Okay.
we are going to bring it back. We are going to have in-house training sessions for the IELTS or the TOEFL, or any of these examinations, qualifying examinations, because we want to groom our students. We definitely want to make sure that they are approaching us in a right direction, in the right proper manner. We want them to qualify in the first attempt. We don't want them to make multiple attempts to qualify in the examinations. And we also ensure that they know the requirements of the institute. For example, if the target institute is Columbia University or Stanford University, we want to make sure that the student is up to the mark in meeting the requirements of the university. So training is definitely an integral part, it's an important part. If the student dreams or aspires to get into the topmost or top ranked or the world top 10 institutions, definitely we have to make sure that the student is able to prepare himself or herself well for that. And at the same time, sometimes, because most foreign universities rely on holistic evaluation. They take a number of parameters. It's not just the academics that count. Sometimes it is not just the examination, the complete examinations like the GRE or the TOEFL exams that count. They take into account a variety of factors. So we help the student understand the varieties of factors, also help them in profile building, because this is called early advising. We rely on early advising. Let's say a student approaches in the second year or the third year of their degree, and they have 1 more, 2 more years to go. We tell them that that if your target institution or your dream university is something like Harvard University, what do you need to do to actually be able to target that kind of an institution? So we help the student build a profile, start building their resume, because ultimately they have to impress the admissions committees. So we help the student target certain areas like working on their extracurriculars or co-curriculars or presentations or projects or anything that can actually improve their admission chances. We start helping the student in building that. So these are some of the things that we actually help the student understand. It takes a lot of, in fact, time and patience. We do give a lot of time, and of course, we have plenty of patience in this. We have been in this field for a long time, 20 years. So we definitely ensure that we give adequate amount of time to each student and getting them to understand what their strengths are. Also, tell them how to improve on their weaknesses and turn their weaknesses into their strengths. So these are few of the things that we help students.
Definitely, that's awesome job. And I have another question. As you said, you have sent more than 9,000 students over a 20 years of period, right?
Right.
Uh, can you connect the students who are existing in US or some other countries? Suppose I am for the first time I'm going. Okay, can I meet the students, or can you provide any assistance to the students who are going for the first time there?
100%
connect
yes.
The student? That's my question.
Yes, we do. We do a lot of this kind of networking. See, our services are not just connecting with the student and then sending them abroad. It doesn't end there. We share a very wonderful rapport with our students. In fact, to be honest with you, students whom have sent 19 or 20 years ago also are pretty much in touch with me till today.
Oh.
Particularly because I have supported them through various stages. I know all the stages. For example, if they want to go abroad, a lot of students actually, in fact, uh, are failing, particularly because they don't know the pitfalls. They don't know the loopholes, the pitfalls in the process of getting a green card, or probably getting a green employment permit. Or some of them actually are go abroad with an assumption that it would be very similar to our system of education, where you take a lot of things for granted. But we have helped students understand and eliminate the wrong concept that study abroad is just about just about going there and then studying something. No, it's a holistic evaluation system. As an international students, you have certain responsibilities, but you also have certain limitations. So people have to understand their responsibilities and also the limitations to avoid getting into the wrong track, to avoid probably getting into areas, because some of these countries have laws which are unforgiving. That means if in case you violate one of those, probably you'd be expelled from the or dismissed from the university. So you also have to know the those areas where you probably can get into trouble. So we don't want students to get into trouble. And of course, even if you get into trouble unknowingly, I have assisted lots of students to come out of that situation, difficult situation, and reinstated many of them, put them back into the path that they're supposed to. And we do help the students a lot. In fact, if they have trouble after going abroad, they can always stay connected, because we do help the students till they complete their degree, even beyond. What we are doing is networking our existing or previous students with the ones who are going now. And once they announce the student gets his or her visa, we definitely ensure that we connect our students with a potential student mentor over there who can actually help them, preferably in the same field of interest or same branch, so that they can actually get the assistance of a senior in terms of accommodation, in terms of acclimatizing, getting used to the atmosphere or the situation or the place over there, finding part-time jobs or finding accommodation, plenty of things. In fact, the student support services are actually continuous, though we do it without claiming credit, but yeah, we do a lot of networking with our students who are already there, and since they were helped by their seniors, by their predecessors, so obviously they are willing to lend a helping hand to our students. This is how now
Yeah,
it's all about the goodwill that we have maintained with them. So we constantly keep connecting the ones that we have helped and the ones who require help. So certainly, yes, this is also an integral part of what we actually do.
definitely. That I think that may be your USP because you have a 2 decades of experience and lot of students might be there overseas.
Mhm.
And this is one point will help most of the parents and students if they come to Skylark.
Right.
They can have a lot of network in any country. Satish,
Right.
right now, in how many countries to how many countries are sending students majorly?
Ideally, we used to send students to a handful of about, let's say, about a dozen countries. But
Okay.
since the pandemic and since coronavirus has started, I believe some of the countries have actually closed their doors for international students. So right now we are only working with about 5 to 6 countries. But we just want to make sure that students actually are getting into locations or countries where they have post completion opportunities, because some of them actually are looking at on-campus learning, not offline or maybe not online learning. So we are looking at countries, we are sending students to countries which are considered to be safe in terms of opportunities, which are providing opportunities both full time as well as part time, and which are giving benefits because our students are investing a lot of money. I believe there's a lot of investment at stake, and I'm sure our students also want to have some post completion work benefit. So we are targeting countries where students actually get some time to spend, because ultimately it's not about the degree that they actually can get from that country, it's about the post completion work experience that they gain. Because any degree without work experience is as good as a piece of paper, but in case if it is complemented with work experience, that actually is the icing to the cake. That will definitely ensure that the student actually is able to build something on their resume. It helps, and we also help our students with networking with their seniors, with our students over there, to get internships. So internships is which are part of the learning system, which are part of the curriculum. We also help our students with that. We also help them to find internships. There's a lot of, in fact, groundwork that we actually do with our students who are sent over there, and we help them ensure that their resume is appealing and attractive to employers, and that will help them. And we also guide and direct them from here itself, because we have good connections and a vast network of people who are willing to help our students. So certainly, we do that for every student.
Yeah, Satish, one more because I deal with intermediate students. A lot of students are interested to study abroad. Okay,
Mhm.
so my question is, when it is advisable going to abroad after intermediate or after graduation?
Well, Venki, a couple of years ago, students who actually have are in their plus two, parents were a little skeptic or doubtful about sending their kids, because due to lack of exposure, they felt that kids with their limited exposure will struggle abroad. But I believe a lot of for the last 3 to 5 years, this has changed a lot, because I've seen a lot of parents coming down and willing to send their kids at an early stage at the plus after plus two, particularly because they have some connections or contacts. They have some friends, relatives who are living abroad, who can actually act as a guardian or someone who can actually give moral support to the student. Students' awareness levels actually have improved in the last couple of years, I believe, and students are nowadays. I believe students are they're not the timid and shy people. They are very much outgoing, and definitely they have a lot of exposure, much better exposure than kids of 10 years ago. And these students actually find, in fact, are able to find their navigate their way around. They're able to find things and then get things done on campus. I've sent students to Canada. We have sent students to the US, to Australia, who have really done well. They have settled, and then now they're on path to getting their permanent residence also. So I feel that that for students who actually are confident of maintaining themselves, it is good to actually go abroad at an early stage, particularly because at the bachelor's level there are plenty of benefits. In fact, if you ask me, bachelor students get placed faster than master students. Is it are you able to hear me?
Yeah, Satish, yeah, we can.
Yeah. So I feel that that students who are very keen on doing their bachelor's abroad, particularly if they have the resources and the support of the parents, it's always good to good to go for the bachelor's, because that's a transforming experience. It's definitely going to transform them, and certainly going to make a big difference in their lives if they find that that they are capable and have the support of parents. Definitely, yes, they can go abroad and they can succeed, especially at the bachelor's level, and they have plenty of time to explore and understand the country. It's 4 years or 3 to 4 years of bachelor's gives them enough time to understand the country and study the country thoroughly, to develop their careers, to know how to develop. They can strategize a lot of things themselves. Yes, we do support them with with the planning, and I'm sure that that students can actually go at the bachelor's level itself after +2 if they are
Okay.
capable of.
Yeah, Satish, I have one more question. See, for
Sure.
example, if a student who is joined intermediate level and he wanted to pursue an education in some country, okay, what are the skills he need to develop, or what exams he has to face before he apply for the universities?
Language exams are very important. Language exams, especially if a student wants to go at the
Is it a
bachelor's level.
compulsory? Yeah, he has to write
Yes,
that
yes, yes,
exam.
yes. Language exams, English language tests are compulsory, particularly because our mother tongue is not English. Since we are
Okay.
not considered as an English speaking country, so definitely, yes, we do have to develop our language skill. We do have to demonstrate our language skills or language abilities through an English language test. So, yeah, communication skills are mandatory. I feel that students should improve their communication skills and their ability to know to ability to actually give out language, prove their communication skills through language tests, and be able to apply.
And even SAT exam, is it must for every student who
SAT
want to
is
run?
actually for students who desire a scholarship. To be honest with you, this is only for
Okay.
US students who want to go to US for a bachelor's. Though SAT examination may not be mandatory by all the universities. There are universities which are purely based on academics and language tests. The SAT examination is encouraged for those who are very keen on scholarships.
Okay.
Usually having a SAT score generally encourages the admissions committee, because student has done something beyond what is required. So definitely encourages the admissions and scholarship committee to nominate the student for a good scholarship as long as other
And
parameters are met.
does the percentage that they score in +2, will it help them to get admission? Will that have
100%
an
yes.
advantage?
Yes. If they have a very good academic merit in their 10th and their 11th and 12th, the 10th standard and the intermediate or 11th and 12th standards, 100% yes, it is definitely going to, because ultimately what universities are looking at is a very solid academic foundation. It's not the language test or high scores in the SAT examination. Academic admissions are usually given on the basis of their academics, because students ultimately will be in the same line of activity, will be doing academic study. Hence,
Okay.
academic foundation is compulsory, and academic language tests are definitely uh, given high importance in the admissions process.
No, what happens is, Satish, when we train them for this exam like JEE mains, advanced RP scores, and we don't give much importance to the academics. Okay, they don't.
Right.
Focus more on board exams. What happens is,
Right.
in some cases,
Mhm.
the students, even though they are very intelligent, they're not scoring up to the marks because of this exam pressure.
Right.
So I think from this discussion, I understood that it is going to hamper their chances in the future, right?
Definitely. Academics are definitely important, because
So
consistency in academics. Because if the first year of intermediate, in case if they're getting around about above 90%, and suddenly drastically if it drops up to 70%, that is generally taken as a negative aspect, particularly because it could also mean that the student has lost interest in studies.
oh,
So usually when they look at that declining graph, usually a parabolic graph or an increasing curve usually indicates that the student is picking up. But a
yeah,
declining curve generally is actually indicative of decline in the student's interest. Generally, that is how the admissions committees interpret. It does not mean
yes.
that the student is out of caliber. Yeah, there are ways to work around this thing, ways to prove that that the academics do not represent the student's true potential. As I told you, statement of purpose of the application essay, in which we can write give an explanation of why the academics have declined, but it also helps if the student is able to maintain consistent academic performance.
Oh, thank you. And Satish, one more. Suppose if an intermediate student decided to go to some country, right?
Mhm.
And when they should approach you during the first year or second year?
First year.
First year itself.
First year itself, yes. If
Okay.
someone wants to go to a bachelor's degree abroad, we recommend that they start planning from first year itself, because we don't want them to, as I said, early planning and early advising is highly recommended, because if they come in the last minute, not much of changes can be done. We'll have to go with whatever they have or whatever they are. But if they approach us early, we can help them understand and start to plan the entire process from day one, so that they can also plan their academics. And this is not going to the planning for study abroad is not going to hamper or not going to interfere with their regular academic activities. And I always recommend that students have I mean, in terms of study abroad, I always recommend students to also give their JEE mains. And also, if in case they are planning to study abroad, it doesn't mean that they have got the visa, because ultimately students ultimately have to get their visa to be able to go abroad. So I always recommend students to have a backup option, a domestic option in India before starting up their study abroad plans, because study abroad is also about getting the visa. If student is not able to succeed, or let's say due to some reason student does not get the visa, what if in case he does not have an option in India? Is definitely going to end up wasting one more academic year trying for something else. So we don't want that to happen. We want students to succeed. As much as they want to go abroad, we also want them to have domestic options, so that they can, probably their parents or rather, their well-wishers can also be sort of, in fact, convinced that that this student is not going to waste another academic year.
Yeah, wonderful, Satish, wonderful. And what are the timings when the parents or students can approach your Skylark? What are the timings?
We are open from 10 in the morning till 7 in the evening, Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Saturday. Can you share the detail? Can you share the phone or contact number or something like that?
Sure.
Yes, so that parents, whenever they watch this video, they can call you, right?
Certainly, they can definitely, in fact,
and even if you want, you can show your website.
Sure, definitely. In fact, parents and students can definitely approach us. They can call me. I am.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to share your numbers.
Sure.
But if it is better if you can provide us these numbers, or you can put in chat box or the address and.
Yes.
So
my contact number is listed here, and students can also approach me or drop me an email. My contact number and my email address. That's also my WhatsApp number. They can also text me or WhatsApp me. They can send email messages, anything. I do respond to students 24/7. And of course, my entire team. In fact, I have about 20 people working there. So we are all available literally 24/7. We have, as soon as a student comes in, we assign them a dedicated advisor or a counselor, and the counselor is going to be the point of contact. And we also have a student relations coordinator, who's also going to be the second level of contact. If student has any concerns, they can always approach me. I am going to be the third point of contact. If in case contact number 1 and 2 don't respond, I am there 24/7. Anytime the students can approach us.
You can put your website address also, Satish.
Sure.
The web address also.
Yes.
And thank you, man. And we have one question from Himanshu. He said, "Hello, sir. Good evening. I wish to give the GRE exam for PhD or MSc in economics. Can I expect something from this webinar, or it is only for pure science based students?" So I think you answered all right. You answered how to do even economics.
PhD or MSc in economics. In case, I also need to understand which country the student is targeting. Someone who wants to do a PhD in economics. Certainly, in fact, we also need to also know his entire history. Probably, I believe, Himanshu, if you can probably connect with me at my number, I can definitely assist you in person, because a PhD is a research degrees definitely, in fact, have a different approach than the traditional masters or bachelors. Research degrees definitely do have a lot of parameters to satisfy, and it also takes some time. And the planning for masters, PhD in research, PhD in economics, depending on the country you wish to get into, it has to be planned at least a year to 2 years in advance. So if in case, I'm not sure what exactly your education qualifications are, but if in case you are planning for a PhD or a master's in economics, we need to get some more details to be able to, because currently we are assisting PhD students from, I'm assisting PhD students in pharmacy, material science, economics, mass communications and journalism. I'm handling around half a dozen students only for PhD, and I do take a limited number of students for PhD assistance, because PhD requires next level effort, because the process is a little lengthy. number of parameters to be satisfied and requires us to communicate with potential research supervisors over there. So that is a very lengthy process and not the regular process where you just apply and get admission. It does consume a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. So we probably need to get some more. Maybe Himanshu, if you could probably get in touch with me at the contact numbers listed out, I'm certain I can definitely help you out if I can understand more about you, get to know more about you.
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. You have answered so many questions, and thanks for accepting immediately, even though I give a less time. Okay. And you have prepared so much information. And definitely this information will help the students and parents to take better decisions. And I request every parent or the student who are watching this webinar, Skylark is the best place to realize your dream of going to, to study abroad. I recommend you all go there, talk to Dr. Satish, the founder and the director of Skylark, and definitely is the man who can guide you to the better place. Thank you, Satish, for your time and wonderful explanation. You gave so much information, and I think this webinar will be very useful to the students over a period of time. Thank you, man. Thanks once again.
Thank you so much, Minky. Thanks for the opportunity. It is wonderful interacting with you guys. And to all the students out there, I believe you have a dream. Ensure that you work towards your dream. There's no substitute to hard work. You will have to plan, but of course, study abroad requires hard work and planning. So if in case you are struggling with the planning part, please do come to us. Please do connect with me. We can help you with the planning part, because it's not just about all the time. It's not just about your academics that can actually help you succeed abroad. Study abroad or succeeding abroad requires a good amount of planning and knowing where to avoid the pitfalls. We are experienced enough to guide students on all these areas. I'm sure that we can definitely help you out. So if you have a dream to succeed abroad, please do connect with us. We can definitely help you out. Thanks so much.
Man, we recommend the students who wish to go abroad, and definitely we ask them to go to Skylark, and definitely let us all work together to make the students comfortable there. Thank you, man. Thank you, Satish, once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you all the people who watched this webinar today. And this is the end of the session. Let's meet you next.